We're
Li-
live. I was about
Live
to
here.
sing, and then we stopped my singing just in time. That was lucky us. Hey,
Yeah.
so we're running a little behind over here, and we're probably going to have a semi-short show. Well, hold on a second. Let me see, because I'm getting lucky. I'm people are scheduling me and canceling me at the same time. It's just weird. You know what I mean? It's like, hey,
Yep.
look, my schedule is coming up. Hey, wait. Now we're adding this meeting. It's just one of those, right? It's like someone sees your calendar open up, and you're like, and they jump on it.
Jumping in. Yeah.
Right?
Just reserving the space. We don't really need you, but we might. So
Now, you know what I haven't seen yet? I haven't seen an alert. Tell me when this guy's calendar opens up for this time. Wouldn't that
ooh,
be an interesting app? And I have a feeling that the Outlook on purpose will never ever let you do that because somebody who actually uses it on Microsoft will probably say, if someone does that, they're evil and please eliminate them.
I
So,
don't know though. I think that we could do something like that.
probably do something like that.
I
It's like
think that we could
watch
do something like that with the Logic app.
with the Logic app. So you watch a schedule, right? And you see
Yeah.
the schedule and you say, I want to reserve that time. If that time opens up, alert me,
Once a
right?
minute.
Or no, not even
Just
alert. Take it.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Book it.
Ah.
Book it, send me an alert, and I'll fill out the agenda.
So how about it? Yeah, just a thought. Okay, we're coming up. We're inventing stuff over here. I'm not sure. I am sharing my screen. This came up to me today. The state of the APIs, because this is something we work with a lot. Have you had a chance to look at this yet, Larry?
I've perused it, but only slightly.
I mean,
Yeah,
slightly.
Postman has got some cool tools. I mean, that's
Postman.
the yeah.
I know. This is not just about Postman though. So let me just.
I
I'm
know,
just going to
but
scroll through it over here. I just want to bring up to the one place over here, the so-called APIs. Right now, there's a battle going on between just REST and what was the other one? GQ. What was that? The other kind of REST.
right the
Oh gosh, I can't think of it.
now you've thrown it on my
No,
head.
no, I've thrown it in your head.
Yeah, no, it's a um remote process call. And
Yes, exactly. Here
yeah,
we go. Let me go up here and
no,
get the
rest works well.
this
I
works
enjoy
well.
it.
Oh,
Um,
hell on a second. Let me get this up here. There we go. That's the plus sign I was trying to hear. Here we go. The platform. What is the API? Well, API, of course, is application. Because again, it comes CI/CD is what a lot of this stuff is about. So we're seeing our friends over here. GitHub is over here. Let's look at our friends. We got Bitbucket is in here. Hey, Larry, I think you work with all of these tools, don't you?
I've done
I think you've touched them all already.
some of those do look familiar. No, I've not done JFrog.
Oh, JFrog. Yeah. Where's
Yeah,
that?
JFrog is not
Here.
one that I've played with. API
Jenkins. We've done
Airy.
Jenkins.
Yeah, I've done some Jenkins. Apiary is one that someone else reviewed for us to use on a
Mhm.
project. Stoplight. I mean, there are a lot of really good tools there. The Postman's across the board, across the top.
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, it's like I said, they've got some really cool tools. Um, they have offerings in a lot of places,
So,
but
they were like
yeah,
tiny, and all of a sudden they burst into the scene. They
well,
actually came up with a good business model at some point.
right. They kept growing into need, and that's the way businesses get by. That's why they get larger.
Right.
So Postman started out small, very focused, and then people kept asking, well, what about this? And they built products, and it was great.
Definitely. Oh,
So we
here
were
we go.
talking. I was talking just today with someone who was. Um, we have a client that's wanting to move like 1 million documents, right? 1 million
Right.
PDFs into the cloud.
Hmm.
And well, one of the things that we wanted to do was we wanted to really focus in and make sure that we were landing them in the right place, so that structurally it was sound.
Right.
But someone was saying, what we really wanted to be able to do is hit each document with like a REST call, hit each document with an API call directly. And I said, I'm trying to think of anything within Azure that you can't do that with right now. Just
Right.
out of the box, right? Your blob storage, here is a blob. Here is a direct link to that blob.
Hmm.
You put it in Cosmos DB. Here is a direct link to that record.
Right.
So, I mean, that's cloud native. I
That
mean,
is.
that's what it's all about.
So
That is
yeah, so
link
like you don't
plus
have to
file.
build it anymore. To your, oh, by the way, I was thinking of GraphQL. The
Yeah,
battle
graph.
was GraphQL versus straight up REST. That
Hmm.
was that was the thing. So apparently, and originally it was like, okay, so well, one just gives you domain information and all that stuff, and it's GraphQL and all that stuff. The other one's like, oh, but it's a battle. It's like, oh, we don't need this. That's too much programmers finding stuff to do. It's like, oh, okay, it's a religious conversation. I'm going to step back and not get in there. Right over
Right.
there.
Let's stay a little higher. Let's
Let's
be
stay a little higher.
strategic
So that's
instead
what
of
this
being
is all
tactical.
about, right over here. When this particular thing, this is why even though Postman put this out, and they're putting out because they do want to tout the fact that they're everywhere. That's
Right.
fine. I understand when people put out a lot of these reports. Microsoft will do it. Everybody does it. You know,
Right.
Google will do it. AWS, and because they are showing that they have leadership in it. But they're also, at least the good thing about a lot of these companies, when they put their stuff up there, they don't. How do we say? It's hard for them to lie. They can't just
Right.
because they'll get caught. You know they will. We'll catch them.
Well, they didn't leave out, for example, the observability where they don't have an offering,
Correct.
right? They
Yes.
built out the full model. They didn't
Yes.
source code. Yeah, well, we're not going to deal with that yet. That's
Right.
not something that we have.
Right.
Uh, you know,
See, look at this. The
APM,
APM is covered over
nothing.
here. A good old Datadog. Hey, Datadog. I've been hearing a lot of Datadog, even though it's been around for a while. Been hearing a
Uh,
lot of that lately.
yes,
Datadog.
I have as well.
Uh, Datadog.
Hmm.
Is all. See, if we wanted to like have, we could have a show every week, and we would never run out of little topics to have to go over. Look at all these people out here these days, man.
Well, and I mean, we could bring in a guest that is, maybe that's what we need to do. We need to find a guest that is an expert in one of these,
One of these
bring him
or
in,
one of
talk
these
to him about it.
groups. One of
Yeah, a
these
group.
groups. Like let's talk governance. Let's talk. See, here's the thing. And especially for those when you work in the cloud, a lot of us sometimes we get saddled with specific products because of the project or wherever we go in, and then sometimes there's like no leeway or no flexibility to say, well, that doesn't have quite what you need. Wouldn't it be okay just simply to flip over to the other product? I mean, if you did everything as code or if you followed your 12 factor, it should technically speaking be easy to push it around, right? But that's, of course, that's the ideal, not the reality. But
And
that's nice though to learn it. When you learn it essentially at this level, before you get to that point, that's when you can make those decisions, as they say. Well, we have this. Why? Because we did. We knew it from here. We didn't just pick it because, well, Joe's buddy was using Swagger Hub, right?
yeah,
And it's like, okay, so Joe's buddy, where is he now? Oh, he's not here anymore. It's like, well, how did Joe Buddies get a decision? Well, he was Joe's buddy. It's like, okay, well, beyond that, it's like, well, he said it was the best. It's like, well, okay, can I see that Gartner
right.
report that backed him up? I guess.
Why?
No.
What
I,
metrics did he use to determine,
yep,
that it was the best? Because it really matters.
it does.
Everything is situational. So yeah, I mean, just a flyby, just high level overview of what's
Oh,
there is important.
no kidding.
I'm
Oh,
sorry. I have a delivery. I need to step away for just a moment.
he's going to deliver. Hold on a second. So let's go take a look over here while I have the folks, just me and Raquel over here. I'm watching Raquel. She actually was watching your podcast the other day, so that was fun. We're having a good time watching those. Raquel, you ever think about making an NFT for speaking of money?
I'm back. Home
Uh,
Alone.
oh, that was
I've got
fast.
to
I was
to
asking
let.
Raquel if she was thinking of making an NFT for her in the film group. Like because they do like this Trapped in Anime. That's Raquel's show. And by the way, Raquel, you can go ahead and paste in the link there on the group. But
Oh, thank you.
that's her
Sure.
show, right? Yeah. In that particular
Yep.
case, what do they do? It's very their innovation, all right, because everything's an innovation. Is they take regular situations of regular folks going around and they make them anime style. So the characters, the effects, and all that stuff. It's quite original actually the way they put it together. So much
Cool.
so that after so many, it's actually been around for a little while. To me, there's iconic characters. Every time I see them, I'm like, in my head, they're characters already. They actually have personalities. They have all these pieces. And I'm just thinking trading cards for that right now, Raquel, as they say, it's either an Emmy or maybe Bitcoin. Just saying. Raquel's not commenting at the moment, or she's on mute and she doesn't know where the mute
Oh,
button is, to the left or to the
no,
right of you.
I got it. It's yeah, no, I mean, I would love to make trading cards. I actually have like a whole pack of blank trading cards I can just doodle over. I
Oh,
got it like a while back at Blick, so I was always thinking of doing that, but I didn't really have a concept at the time. So
all right. Well, you got to pitch it to the crew over there, and say,
exactly.
how would you like to be in a trading card that has value?
Right.
You'll actually have value, and then your mom can say, hey, you never amount to nothing. Oh yeah, mom, look at me. I'm like, look at my Bitcoin. Come on.
Right. Well, and but think also, and I'm not trying to shift it too much,
Of
but
course.
think about regular playing cards with the suit people as your
Oh,
common characters,
Raquel, you get that? You get that
and
idea?
you get some really cool back ends because there are people that do card tricks,
Yep.
right? That do card fans and things like that that are always looking for unique decks, and so niche that, get in there and
We're
have a
giving you ideas
be a
now.
queen.
We're
Oh,
innovating. We're brainstorming.
oh, trust me, I definitely know about trading cards. That
But
I thought
playing
I'd show you
cards,
my
actually,
But playing
the
collection.
playing
cards,
cards.
actual
Maybe you
actual
can even
physical
put
playing.
points in there, like what happens, like like you can have powers and all this stuff added in. You know what I'm talking about, right, Raquel?
I think so,
Like a
yeah. I mean,
poker
I'm
deck.
thinking of okay. So I was honestly thinking about it in like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh way, like how they play. But
Exactly. Those are
No,
popular.
yeah, I mean that's good too. But I was thinking,
Just
there are people that do card
regular cards,
fanning and
Yeah.
that's
regular
true.
poker deck cards. Yeah.
Yes. You get to be the Queen of Hearts. No problem. That's an easy one. Since you're making it, you get to pick which suit you wish to
Exactly.
wear. Exactly. It can be like I heart my I heart my this, you know,
Yeah.
I spayed my dog. I said, there's all kinds of like uh
Oh, dad
I
humors.
club my
Oh.
seal. It's like all card humors. The only thing I don't have is like I diamond. This I diamond.
Hmm.
I don't have one for that. So anyways, speaking of, so here's my money so far today. What do I'm sort of like, because so here's the interesting thing.
So
The more you
Ethereum's
spread
up.
your money around,
Bitcoin's down.
Ethereum is up, right?
Yes.
So the more you spread your money around, let's just say it seems to dilute the way the money can move. The one thing
It
I
does.
noticed is that when I stuck to one, it's you could feel the money getting higher. Aha, yes, trading cards for tap enemy. There we go. That's the only thing I'm missing. NFT. Uh
But
oh.
so doing your
Raquel, you're still unmuted. I think she's talking to the guys right now.
all right.
She's
So
selling it right now. Go
so
sell it.
Just for the
only
reference
we
is like,
can.
yeah,
Only
only
we
you
can.
guys can hear me. So also, I'm really sorry though.
Okay.
That's
Anyway,
okay.
yeah, no, you diversify your portfolio,
Yep.
and what you're doing is you're reducing the overall risk, but you're
True.
also slowing down the growth.
That's true.
Um,
I'm
but
taking out the risk
that's a
and
good thing.
at the expense of the potential high side. But then again, I'm eliminating the low side. This is like classic trading. So yeah, we're
Yeah, yeah,
gonna get into that.
it's a good thing.
Let's see. Did you have one topic in particular? Because otherwise, I have one for you.
Please go ahead.
I have one for you. Let me go down and scroll
I
down.
had
Hold on
to
a
I
second.
had to close the office. We're consolidating because the company I worked for got purchased,
Oh,
and
that's right.
so I had some physical labor to do. So I'm on
Uh-oh.
ibuprofen.
Later.
you know,
So this happened.
lazy
Microsoft
man.
Ignite. So this happened. Microsoft Ignite, the
Yes.
big giant conference it's basically normally an in-person conference. It's essentially the replacement for Tech Ed. It's everything. There are humongous announcements in it. You remember we were talking about the Power Platform stuff and
Yes.
the licensing, and I would go into that detail with you. I think there are some huge announcements in there that are big to me, but otherwise, this is something that, by the way, since they Ignite, they have this concept of the Book of News.
Hmm.
I like this concept. It's called Book of News. I think a lot of conferences are now doing this. The concept is you're going to have a release and you're going to have so many announcements that because it's so many, somebody must have told them, man, you might as well have a book. That's so many announcements. Sure enough, what do they have here but the Book of News?
There you
Everything.
go.
Because after all, I mean, here, look at this. And this is just, by the way, 1.1.
Right.
News on Azure
Table of
AI.
contents in the top right.
Right.
We can see there's a a plethora of things that they've actually.
Exactly. Let's look at the table of contents over here. Holy camokes.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all these things. And wait a minute. It's not just that you're looking at the table. They all have drop downies and more information
Yes.
in them.
Yes.
Whoa. So is there anything in the cloud that we're looking at? Well, Azure, of course. Let's see. What's going on in the dev ecosystems? Azure Container Apps now in preview.
Mhm.
I mean, here we go. Azure Logic Apps updates,
Service bus large message support.
Service bus large
So
message support.
I want to.
How about it?
Can I rant on that just a moment?
Yes, you may. Hold on.
mean,
Is it over here? Is it over here? Service bus.
Yeah. It's 134.
13.4. Here we go. Let's go there. Let's
Yeah.
check it out.
So
Okay.
they now support receiving payloads up to 100 megabytes.
Holy camokes.
If you're sending a 100 megabyte Azure Service Bus message, you ought to talk to your architect.
Your
slap them
architect
about
needs
the
to
head
be
and
right.
shoulders a little bit. Okay.
So wait a minute. The previous limit of 1. So here's the thing. They went from 1
to 100.
100.
Yeah.
How? What?
There's a codependency here, and it's not good. And they really got to come up. I mean, come on, guys. Look, in your message, point to blob storage.
How about it? That's
there
like
you
giving
go.
you more
That's
space
it.
in your Outlook while we already have Teams and all the rest of them working on.
Right.
Hey,
if I send an email see, that's what this is doing. These are the same people that send around a spreadsheet
in the
email. And then everybody's changing it, and it goes to everybody. A new copy goes to come on, guys, centralize that.
What's in there? There's so much fat in there in that 100 megabytes. But here's the thing, though. Enough people ask for it. Enough people of consequence ask for it that there it is.
Right.
All right. So,
well, I mean, like I said, this is purely a rant on my part. I'm livid that they did it though, because they are absolutely
they're promoting not a good practice is basically what's going on. Yes. Well, yeah. So like someone might say, it's like, well, here's
bad behavior.
They're what they're saying is like, well, you know what? They need it. They can have it. There are some cases where it's absolutely necessary. It's like, well, okay, but you know what? Could they have at least exactly? Did they really think it through? I always ask that. Sometimes they don't think it through. I just saw another proposal come by me where they're going through and they're redesigning their pages and to look like old SharePoint because they miss old SharePoint so much. They really have to have it. I'm like, hold on a second. Haven't we fought this battle? I mean, wait a minute. I thought this battle was finished 4 years ago. No, till today, people are asking for it. Yeah, we want these menus to do this. It's like, well, you can't size those. I mean, how does that go?
Yeah, no. See, I refute that. I'm livid. No. I understand why they did it. Don't get me wrong. They're a software company. I'm a consultant. I do some heinous stuff for my clients
we're paid to do so. Yeah, they make me.
Because they make me. I'll. There's a great quote that I'll find and link to about I don't even want to answer because answering your question might actually lead you to believe that I agree with your underlying premise.
Yeah, remember my sticker that said like just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Doesn't mean you should. Yes. And so here's the thing, right? If you've got a frying pan, right? You've got one of those big cool cast iron frying pans.
Which
you can hammer in nails with that all day long.
Yeah.
It makes a pretty darn handy hammer.
I'm gonna say when I couldn't find my hammer, I have unfortunately have used that for one time, but only because I couldn't find a hammer.
But it's not right. You shouldn't. I mean, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And there are so many of our tools that people are misusing, and it's come on. I was on a project where Key Vault basically was belly up. It was dying. We couldn't use Key Vault in the way that the architects built the system around,
Right.
because Key Vault was really meant for configurations, not for runtime secrets.
Oh my
And so
gosh.
we were querying the thing
Right
just,
off the bat, as soon as you said that, I'm like, wow.
yeah, wait a minute,
Oh my
what do you
gosh.
mean? Yeah, no, you can't scale Key Vault to do that
Right.
because that's not what it was built to
Was built to
do.
do. It was like for folks, if you're not sure, the equivalent is like somebody said, "Hey, they're going scuba diving and they're using their snow boots." You know,
Yeah.
it's like that's what exactly how it sounded to me, and hit me in the
Mhm.
head when I heard that. I'm like,
And
"Ooh."
it's okay. I mean, we were able to code around it, but
Well,
the problem and the reason that we need to get people on and have conversations like this around all of the different tools is because all it took was somebody who was a little bit more conversant with Key Vault and what its actual built purpose was.
mhm.
You know, a I keep coming back to the whole a local guide, right? That can tell you, no, you don't really want to go over there,
That's right.
right? That's not what that's for.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it looks inviting, right? Say, hey, look, it looks like there's ice cream over there. It's like, no, that just looks like ice cream, but that's how clouds shape themselves once in a while,
yeah. If we
and that's
talk
called
about
smoke.
washing your hands in the bidet, I mean,
Yeah.
is that too risque? Can we not do that?
No,
Um,
I guess that's okay. I mean, it may be toilet humor, but it's okay.
yeah,
It'll work.
okay.
I think we're fine. We're not for kids anyway. I want to make you feel better. Maybe. How about is this
All right.
feel better for you? How about new Azure machines
Yeah.
deliver better price and performance? How about that? Speaking of money
Yes.
that you're
Moore's
saving.
law at work. I mean, that's
It,
what we get down to. Uh,
aha.
they're able to do more and increase. They're really doing a lot to increase um, the ability to
Right.
really drive in and customize what's going on. Now, what one thing that's interesting, um, if you actually go and look at the machines that are running Azure,
Yep.
they're not your standard, like performant hardware systems, right? They're not. There's not like a motherboard with memory slots and things
Right.
like that. That's the way it used to be.
Right. Right.
They're into specialized hardware now with configurable data pipes between the components. There's some next level stuff that's going on that
Oh,
allow
stuff
them
we
to
don't
do
see.
this.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
See that one of the stories. Sometimes you see us touch hardware, even though we're doing the cloud stuff, is because of that. It's like sometimes the pieces underneath, they almost itself tell the story of what we're trying to do. It's like, hey, so as they say, necessity is the mother of invention. I want to make this happen. It's like, well, I made it happen because my old infrastructure uh needs help. So this helps me. However, all of a sudden now that's going on. Guess what? Now it gives me an idea of what can I do with my old infrastructure and make something different to make that work better. And then when that gets better, it's like, wait a minute. So now this one doesn't quite do it. Go back here and fix it
Yeah,
again.
we just
Huh.
keep leveraging it up. I
Back
mean,
and
if
forth.
you look at the number of cores that are on individual processors now, it's nuts,
Hmm.
right? I mean, buying personal machines is it's just crazy, but they're using very specialized hardware in all of these cloud instances that give them the ability to dramatically change the kind of uh, I don't want to say underlying architecture. Okay,
Hmm.
I don't want to say that, but that's really kind of what's happening. The physical layout of the
The
machine
physical
can be
layout, I was going to
changed.
say. The physical architecture in this
The,
particular case.
the underlying physical architecture. Yeah.
I,
So
I like this one, by the way. They have the a new virtual machine selector. Apparently now you can select from by workload and all stuff. We can probably go through some of these at some point, but here's the book of news. Come and check it out. You will find something that's for you because there's something for everybody in here. I
right.
mean, here we go. Let's go into business apps, for example, or Windows 365. Oh my God. If you I'm going to say I challenge you to watch in Teams. They've Darth Maulified Teams now because remember they bought AltSpace VR, right? So now
Right.
AltSpace VR married with Teams, and now instead of watching us like this, we could be avatars. I didn't turn it on. Maybe the next one we'll actually play up our as avatars. That could happen. Just watch for it. But instant
Yes.
avatars, number one, that actually speak. The mouth follows along. The hands go around, but the only thing missing are your bottom halves of your bodies.
So NFT scheme, not schemes, skins.
Skins.
NFT skins. Think about this.
NFT skins. So like you can pick a
Skins
skin,
for your.
but you have to pay and pay for it. Oh,
Mhm.
how about it? So
Uh-huh.
so teams are going to have collaboration across the environment. Let's see. Mesh, of course, Mesh has been there for a while. I'm trying to see
Yeah.
the Teams room and devices. A lot. You don't even see what that is over here, but it's actually in here. Just go ahead and check it. Of course, Viva is. Remember we had Joel talk about syntax a while back. Well, Viva and all that stuff is all the result of all that. And there it is. So it's a whole bunch of stuff. Next gen apps. What next gen apps do we have? Oh, there. See, there's syntax turning the corner over here. Windows 11, of course. And again, there's going to be another conference. There's going to be Build and other conferences where even these items will have more things underneath.
We'll get technology, more tactical, syntactical.
So I'm
this is
trying to find this
high
out.
level overview.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's see. Virtual agent. Let's see. It's edit automation, maker collaboration, scales. All right. Open source. That's fine. This is the big one though. Pay as you go.
Pay as you go.
Historically, we have to buy that license, and I think maybe you barely were talking to your clients and at the one time. It's like, well, here's the license view of what's going on. In some cases, that's almost a skill by itself. It's like, tell me what the licensing is going to be because that's going to make a decision on whether or not we do something one way or the other. The big caveat was if you're at scale, Microsoft will play with you and help you out. So. Right. And any other cloud vendor that's doing something similar will do the same thing. They'll work with you and come up with something to fit your scale.
Right. But the problem is getting over that initial hump, getting to a scale where you're big enough.
Right.
Without breaking the bank.
Exactly. So in some cases, it's like, well, I don't know what it's going to be. Don't make me pre-purchase stuff and I don't know what it's going to be. How do I know when they're going to use it or how? Or I know that I'm going to use it only once in a while. It's like you buy a car just so the little old lady can take the bird, to the vet like once a month or something like that. The concept is, well, then that's where an Uber and all these other services come into play. Here it is, right? The pay only what you use, right? Exactly. So in fact, and this is actually, you can do this now, actually, sir. You can actually attach your Azure subscription license to your license over here. I want to see if I could make this work for my Center of Excellence work that I'm doing, because that only is like a 30-day trial. If I can make that work for this, I will definitely want to blog about it or something. But here's the idea, right? Something that I use every so often. Every so often I have to innovate. I have to do something and figure something out. I'm not a daily business. I'm not doing it every day. But if you give me something like this, I have my Azure credits thanks to my MSDN. And now I'll just pay as I go for a lot of this stuff. But so that's a small scale. So this is great for small scale folks.
Yes.
And this is great for the giant scales, like where you're going to do something really big. Well, those licenses, even Microsoft says, I can't manage that because you have API limits and all that stuff. Now you're in the Azure world now. Okay, we're going to let you pay as you go across the board. Right. Yeah. Because you know where you manage this? You go to your Azure screen. You know how you do your Azure management? That's where you manage this. And then, of course, the other people said, like, okay, so now we have to watch two screens to manage our licenses. And we're like, oh, we can never win. We can never win. Oh, okay. So we told the COE folks, you may want to, since you can download that information. They said, you can download the PDF. I was like, okay. But you're telling person to do a second step to look at something. Right. So they did this quickly, right? Of course, they turned it on. The next step, I imagine we're going to see the reporting come together. That's why one day I want to talk about Synapse some more. We talked about Synapse one time. We really need to get into that because I used to be a data guy, big data guy. Then I became not. Then I'm in and out of data, but data underneath because I did Excel and everything else. So I want to get there again. I'll tell you right now.
Cool.
All right. What else is going on out here in the book of news that's out here? Well, we saw that platform.
Ignite was a big deal. I mean,
this is a big deal.
Yes.
What I'm hearing a lot of these days is the so-called return to work initiatives for all the folks that are coming back. We got rid of our offices. We got used to all this cloud stuff, and we're like, so why are we going back to work? What? Eh?
Right.
It's like, hey, guess what? The cloud's going to help you actually get back to work, and this is the thing to get back safely. I'm just saying, if you're seeing a trend somewhere, if you're wondering what's going on, chances are there is a return to work concept that's actually part of this.
Right. Either part of it or driving it. They're trying to get ahead. So Microsoft is really good at solving existing problems.
Yep.
They occasionally make a lot of missteps when they try to get ahead of a problem and get it created, get the solution in place first.
Right.
They're not as, and it's sad. It's the fact that they're such a big organization. It's hard for them to innovate the right way. What they do is, and they're really good at buying and then, buying innovative companies and then building new products around them, building those
Right.
products into the ecosystem. So,
Yep, that's true. I mean, I haven't, for the most part, especially lately, their track record has been very good. They'll bring in someone in. I mean, I'll give you GitHub as an example. Bringing in GitHub would be like, whoa, it's a power move. But to me, GitHub now is, oh my gosh, all the
so
stuff.
much better.
It's like table stakes now to do GitHub for everything else. It's like, so, but they still have ADO and Azure. It's like, but they've figured out how to delineate. Here's when you should be here, and
Right.
here's where this is appropriate. They have not yet crashed themselves into the wall.
Right.
They figured it out.
They're doing a lot better.
Yeah.
I agree completely. I don't see them getting ahead of problems.
They might be a little boring about it in some cases, but that's okay. Boring is good because it means security for us, right? I wanted to bring this one up. I saw this one, Microsoft Defender for the cloud. So we have you've heard of Defender, right, on your machine, looking for all this stuff. The part that I usually hate is like sometimes I'll get emails like, shouldn't the spam checker follow this, or shouldn't there be something? I mean, we have the cloud, we have all this power to do all this AI stuff. How is this stuff still getting through? How are these problems still going through?
Rates.
In a lot of cases, it's like folks that are just by hand, they have to do it. They have to do the work. The only reason why a lot of that stuff happens because you can be secure as you want, but it's like there still is going to be a human that has to be almost as dedicated as the machines looking at it. This is one of those cases where, like, hey, the cloud app security is getting a makeover. They're calling it Defender. And basically, look, I like this here. App behavior context. This is the part that gets me. App behavior context is what will be an example. It's like, hey, you're using an app in a way that shouldn't be used. Instead of that little sign that says, do not stick your fingers in this plug because that'll hurt you.
Right.
Now imagine if there was an automated way to like, hey, hand, come back, stop putting your finger in the plug.
So think about it this way. What they're doing is, and what they're able to do because of scale again, is they're watching everyone using the app. Okay. And let's look at a street full of people in New York. When you are looking and everyone's going in one direction, but that one guy who's standing on the corner or going in a different direction.
Right. With the big cloak and the spy versus spy.
Right. That's the one that you have to look at. And that's what they're able to do. And that's what it's not that it's an indicator. It's not the whole thing. Right. It's just an indicator that something might be wrong.
But I like this. So like this stuff is built in. So like by auth enabled apps accessing the data via the Graph API. I mean, things that help me, things that I don't have to build, right? Let me focus on building in my solution and let the layer that handles that do it. But here's the thing. The only reason why we used to build it is because we didn't trust those guys sometimes, right? It's like, well, sure, we would let them do it, but we don't think they can do it. So we're going to go and just build it, right? It's like confidence. And like, again, this could be the Microsoft side. It's great that they have that on the Microsoft side. On all the clouds, we always look for that. It's like there's going to be their versions of that. Make use of them. To me, it's like better that when you're cohesive. I mean, you could best of breed. I'm not a fan so much of best of breed so much when clearly there's pieces that need to work with each other. You
Right.
try to best of breed, and you end up creating more headaches and more management. And every time you create a maintenance issue, you reduce. Let's just say you increase your effort to maintain. You're increasing your risk. That's what I'm saying. You've
So
increased your effort.
Frankenstein was the best of breed, right?
He was
Best
all
hands,
the right pieces.
best arms, best
Abby,
pieces.
the brain from Abby Normal, that great
Yes.
person there.
But if you think about it, you wouldn't take the engine out of a Ford and put it in a Chevy, right? I mean, if
Right.
you're not gonna cross those brands. Getting back to kind of our roots with the car talk stuff, but
Yep.
I mean, people do it. Don't get me wrong. I've seen a small block V8 and a
It's like
Volkswagen.
Legos, right? They'll put them and mix and match the sets. They sure
Right.
people will do what they can do, especially because they're fun to do.
Right.
sometimes.
As a toy, as a project, not
Right.
as a daily driver.
It's a
not as
hobby.
something yeah, it's a hobby. That's right. That's right.
Yes, and so please remember that, folks.
That's okay.
When you play with it as a hobby, here's the thing. Sometimes when you do that, it makes you learn about the tool because funky things happen. Then you appreciate the tool more, or you appreciate the understanding of the knowledge you gain from it. It's like, oh, because I saw this happen, I never understood how this thing worked. How did this work at this scale or this level? So now when you go back and do real work, you had that experience. Like all of a sudden it happens, right? Wait a minute. But it happened with the tools that are supposed to work together. But I saw it happen with tools that didn't work together. And then all of a sudden you might say, troubleshooting wise, did something change? And all of a sudden, aha, you know where to look because you saw where it broke. You saw how to fix it with the tools that didn't come together. But in this one, because it's all black box, you have no idea. But at least you can tell the support people did. You may want to look over here at your blah. It's like, oh, they'll look back there. It's like, oh, how did you know? It's like, well, why not? Get the T-shirt. We need to have the, hey, how did you know? We need that reward. We need Bitcoin for that. How about that?
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
All right. We could be here all day
Yeah,
going.
I know.
All the, so
we probably ought to cut it short a little bit and everyone start their weekend early and have a good one.
and
be
then
safe.
hopefully Raquel will have some NFTs for us. Maybe next time she'll show us an NFT and we'll promote it
Right.
on this show.
Yeah, make some backgrounds for your it's not just the front, it's the back
That's
as
right.
well.
The backgrounds. You could have cool backgrounds on the back.
When you're looking at card flourishes and cardistry and that kind of deck, they're niche. But
on your next
they
stream
get
show,
money.
start talking about it. People are going to be like, how do I get that? And remember, it's okay to be cheap.
That's right.
It's the idea. It's what the penny market's all about. You start with the pennies. Next thing you know, it's like, whoa.
Pennies turn to dollars, dollars turn to houses.
That's right.
I'm just saying.
Just saying. All right.
All right.
I think we're good.
Enjoyed it. And if I offended anyone with my talk of the huge messages, please feel free to rant back.
Rant back. It's like, yes, explain yourself. It's okay.
Yeah.
We might understand and be like, okay, that makes sense. And if you can, as they
but
say,
you're not going to because there is no.
What's that meme? There's a meme where all the people are sitting down. It's like, blah 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 is black. Convince me otherwise or something. Talk me out of it.
Yeah. feel free to disagree, but you're wrong. I'm
there
sorry. There you go.
There we go. That could be a shirt right there. All right, sir. Okay,
All
I
right.
think we got it.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye. Okay, Raquel, swing us out.